Every morning a war begins, and you never even know you're losing it. Your alarm goes off. Outside it's still dark, but something inside you is already screaming, "This is wrong." What if the most dangerous thing in your home isn't your diet, your stress, or your screen time? What if it's the time you wake up? Inside you right now is a clock older than civilization itself. It has been running for 3.5 billion years. It synced with the sun. It tracked every dawn, every dusk. Your ancestors' survival depended on it being exactly right. Then, in the blink of an evolutionary eye, we swapped the sun for a screen, and the clock never got the memo. Deep in your brain, a cluster of 20,000 neurons is frantically checking the sky right now. That's your SCN, your master clock. But when you yank yourself awake at 5:30 a.m. in the dark, your SCN gets a completely different signal: chaos. Your body still thinks it's 2 a.m. Your cortisol is low. Your melatonin is high. You are biologically asleep, but your alarm disagrees. This isn't just about feeling groggy. Do this for years, and your body starts breaking down in ways science is only beginning to understand. But to understand why this breakdown happens, we need to go back, way back, further than you might expect. About 2.5 billion years ago, single-celled organisms in the ocean faced a daily problem: sunlight produces UV radiation that damages DNA. The cells that survived learned to replicate only at night, hiding from the sun. That simple rhythm, a 2-4-hour cycle, is where your body clock was born. I am that rhythm. I am the inner clock, and I have been running inside living things since before animals existed. As life grew more complex, so did I. Every creature needed to know when to hunt, when to hide, when to sleep. The sun was the only clock that mattered. Early mammals were mostly nocturnal. They scurried through the dark to avoid dinosaurs. Their clocks were tuned to moonlight and starlight. Then, the dinosaurs vanished. Mammals claimed the daylight hours, and the clock rewired itself around the sun all over again. By the time Homo sapiens arrived, roughly 300,000 years ago, the clock inside them had been refined across billions of years of trial and error. Ancient humans woke with the dawn. They worked, hunted, and gathered under natural sunlight. As the sun dipped below the horizon, activity slowed. Around the fire at night, they told stories, repaired tools, then slept. The fire gave dim, warm, flickering light, barely enough to confuse the clock. Inside that ancient skull, the SCN neuron was doing exactly what it was designed to do, reading light signals and keeping everything synchronized. For hundreds of thousands of years, this system worked perfectly. It was only built for one world, and that world is gone. Deep inside your brain, smaller than a grain of rice, sits the most powerful timekeeper on Earth. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the SCN, 20,000 neurons that run your entire body's schedule. Every morning, light enters your eyes and fires a direct signal straight to the SCN. That signal is the starting gun. The SCN immediately broadcasts to every organ at once: liver, heart, lungs, skin. Wake up. The day has begun. Cortisol surges. Body temperature climbs. Your heart rate lifts. All perfectly timed before you even open your eyes. Think of the SCN as a master conductor. Every cell in your body is a musician, and they all follow this one baton. Ancestral Alex had it easy. The sun rose, the clock was set. The sun fell, the body wound down. Simple, reliable. But the clock doesn't just track time. It also controls when your DNA repairs itself, when immune cells patrol, when you burn fat. The healthy clock keeps all of this in perfect sync. Every system fires at exactly the right moment, like clockwork. But this system is fragile in one critical way. The SCN trusts the light signal completely. Whatever light says, it believes. Send it the wrong light at the wrong time, and the conductor loses the beat. The whole orchestra falls apart. And that is exactly what modern life does to it every single night. The ancient clock is still running. It just has no idea what time it is. So, what exactly declared war on it? Let's start with the most obvious weapon: artificial light. For hundreds of thousands of years, the only light after sunset was fire. Warm, dim, and completely harmless to your clock. Blue light, the kind flooding from every screen, and LED tells your SCN it's still noon. It physically stops melatonin from being released. Then there's the alarm clock. Every morning it rips you out of sleep mid-cycle, a biological emergency your ancestors never once experienced. Meanwhile, ancestral Alex woke slowly with the sunrise light gradually brightening, body temperature rising naturally, cortisol ramping up gently over an hour. His body knew exactly what time it was, every cell in sync. Modern Alex's cells? They're getting 3 different time signals at once. Now, add shift work. Nearly 20% of workers operate on schedules that run completely backwards to their biology. The inner clock doesn't just get confused, it fractures. Light, food, and social cues all start pulling it in opposite directions simultaneously. Then there's eating at the wrong time. Your liver and gut have their own clocks, and they expect food during daylight hours only. When you eat at midnight, your liver gets a wake-up call it was never built to receive. Metabolism stumbles, inflammation rises. Contrast that with ancestral Alex. He ate when the sun was up. He fasted through the dark hours without even trying. His clock and his body were speaking the same language. Every signal confirmed the same truth. It is day, it is time, it is safe. Modern Alex's signals say something completely different all at once. It is noon. It is midnight. It is morning. The clock has no idea which to believe. And this isn't just about feeling tired. A clock this broken starts taking the rest of your biology down with it. Your metabolism is first to fall. When your clock is broken, your cells don't know when to burn fat versus store it, so they store almost everything. Studies show night shift workers have up to a 40% higher risk of metabolic syndrome. Your schedule alone is quietly rewriting your biochemistry. Then comes your mood. The inner clock regulates cortisol and serotonin timing disrupted, and depression and anxiety don't just visit, they move in. Your immune system runs on a schedule too. Circadian disruption cuts natural killer cell activity, the very cells that hunt down cancer and infection. The SCN neuron is now firing distress signals constantly, like an air traffic controller who's lost track of every plane in the sky. And then there's lifespan itself. Chronic circadian misalignment is now linked to accelerated cellular, aging your telomeres, shortening faster than they should. All of this silently, invisibly from a clock you never knew you had. But knowing it's broken is where everything starts to change. So here's the good news. Your clock isn't destroyed, it's just confused. And confusion can be corrected. The single most powerful reset? Step outside within 30 minutes of waking and let real sunlight hit your eyes. At night, dim the screens. Swap harsh blue light for warm lamplight. Your ancient brain still thinks blue means midday sun. Eat when the sun is up, not when the show is on. Time-restricted eating aligns your gut clock with your master clock, and both start healing together. Your ancient clock is still in there, waiting. Subscribe so we can keep decoding the science of your own biology, and stay tuned for what disrupted sleep is secretly doing to your weight.